There are in this manifest universe many different types of expressions. In the garden of creation, Parama Purusha has manifest in infinite number of forms. The vitality of consciousness, the self-aware being, is the fundamental nature of all that is, both manifest and unmanifest. There is no part of creation which is not composed of this substantive nature, this quality of aware intelligence. But according to the gunas, according to the laws of Prakriti, there is a pattern and a process in manifestation. And when the consciousness, this substantive nature of being, becomes so condensed by the ever increasing bondage of tamas, rajas movement stills, becomes very slow, and sentience, tattva, becomes quiescent. Tamas abides, and you have material expression. You have the material universe, the most dense of the worlds, of the lokas, where consciousness is bound by the static principle to the point where tattva is quiescent and rajas is very slow, imperceptible often. Changes occur in a rock, changes occur in all expressions, but they become slow. Unless suddenly altered by forces around them. So naturally, this vitality, this conscious awareness, Purusha, cannot remain forever in this static state. And therefore, out of this static state comes subtle energy. No longer the physical energy that has been in sanchara, but the subtle energy of rajas. So the dynamic principles go in very slow motion. or by external forces in which it is rushing, breaks apart the uh, static nature of the atomic principles. There is always, even in the most dense matter, the movement of rajas, but it is not primary. But there comes a time when all things must change. In this manifest universe, change is a constant. If there is anything to be certain of in creation, it is change. This movement of the gunas keeps going on. And out of this matter, this atomic condensation, arises energy. But the energy is different than has previously occurred. In Pratisanchara, the energy is subtle. It is vibrant. It is a subtle life force, a subtle energy that begins to surround matter, emanate from it, move within it. And out of this association springs life. There is no separation between matter and life. Life, this subtle energy, this microvita, is associated with the atomic principle. It runs within the atomic principle, making it dynamic. And this dynamism increases and forms this subtle energy of life. This is the beginning, this subtle energy. Then the subtle energy begins to modulate the atomic principle and form the colors and varieties of life in this universe. And it varies greatly. But what remains constant is there is a movement that occurs within matter that increases, but its nature is more subtle, is different than the energy of produced in the cycle towards matter. In the cycle towards consciousness, where consciousness awakens, where awareness awakens, first subtle energy is produced, making a kind of vital, awake life force in which rajas is stronger and sattva begins to have some awakening to one degree or another. As forms change and become more complex, the life form associated with very complex systems becomes more vital. The amount of vital force increases, and sattva guna becomes more dominant. And so awakened consciousness arises, self-awareness arises. Prana is when this life force is active in a physical form. It is called prana. Prana is in food. It is the vital energy that comes from the living beings. And when it is consumed, that vital energy comes into the body from the food. So the food not only produces physical energy, but it restores prana. There is prana in food to varying degrees, depending on the nature of the food source and the storage and aliveness of the food. So if you pick the peach off of the tree and eat it, it is filled with the prana of the tree, is it not? But if the peach sits until almost moldy and then is cut up, the prana will be less. You actually can feel the difference. When the food sits in the refrigerator for a week and you take it out, it may not have bacteria, it is not degenerate, but you look at it, it has a kind of pallor. And you are not drawn to it, you are not excited about it the same way you would be if the food were vital and just cooked and fresh. That is because the prana begins to leave the food. And though it may have vitamins and proteins and so on, it lacks prana. And so you are not drawn to it. It does not look appetizing, even though it still may be edible without ill effect. It does not look appetizing, and it will not generate the vital force in your own body the way fresh food will. So when the body is lacking in vital force, the skin becomes dull. It can become pasty. It can lack luster. There is a lack of color, a lack of luster, a lack of vitality, and you see it in the person. You are not as drawn to someone who has this pasty or luster lack to their skin. You don't really know why you feel the way you do, but there is something somewhat dead looking about the person. When the person has high prana and the vitality is flowing through the body and the cells in the body and the atomic structures in the body, then you feel this vitality. The skin shines, the skin has color. Regardless of the coloration of the person, if they are dark or light, the skin will have a luster and a vitality. And you see it, you feel it, you feel the vitality in the person. And naturally, people are on a gradation. And you feel it also in animals. When an animal is not well, they may be very pretty, they have nice fur, but their fur begins to be shaggy, lacking in shine. They begin to look haggard, they hang their head a bit. You see it in animals. And if you have an eye, you can see it in plants. When the prana is low and the being is struggling for their survival, or they're going through the life with a minimal vitality. And in a human being, it affects the mind. The mind becomes dull, hard to think. There gets a lack of optimism, a kind of negative thinking can occur, depression, because vital force is low. Therefore, the mind is susceptible to negative thoughts, negative feelings. And the more there are negative thoughts, negative feelings, the lower the vital force becomes. So, what to do when you have been ill or due to age, the vital force of the body is lessening. Naturally, with aging, the vital force in the body begins to become quieter. It does not necessarily decrease, but if ailments begin to assault the body, it can take the vital force inward to directed to the ailments to cope. And the general vital force can go down, mood can go down. But there are ways to combat this, both in the aging process and in the process of dis-ease. The first and foremost is to eat foods that are filled with prana, that are fresh, vegetables, fruits that are fresh, vital with energy. The foods you eat, let them be vital. Do not eat that food that you pulled out of the refrigerator and you just feel the lack of luster and you are not drawn to it. Don't eat it. Take the food which is vital. Keep your body vital. Don't take the processed food, which is diminished. Maintain a high degree of vital food in your diet. Then exercise your body. These are simple known techniques, but they work. The body needs to maintain movement Even if the movement is a little bit difficult, hard to do, you are tired, you are stiff, still the movement helps you. So maintaining asana, do not give up asana with age. This is a mistake. Maintain your asanas, even if you must modify them a little. Maintain them. Asana, walking, daily walking. If you can swim, whatever your choice of exercise, but keep up your vitality. Another, spend time in nature. Spend time around the vital life force of trees, animals, and remember your Guru mantra. Remember that all are the form of the divine, that you are surrounded by life force, by the love of the infinite, and that vitality, that life is awake in a tree, in a plant, in an animal, in the people you meet. That Lord is with you in all these forms, even in the rock. Lord is with you in all forms. Remember this. And then this brings a vitality to you because you are in direct communion with the vital life force of living beings. And in that vital existence, you find that there is an enhancement of your own vitality. You begin to resonate with the vitality around you. The trees, there is a natural symbiosis between the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. The trees, the natural beings, they symbiotically relate to you. They bring prana, they even heal disease. But you must recognize their vitality, their nature, and appreciate it, not see them as dead objects in front of you to be ignored while you are wrapped in your mental framework. Let your mind go out and meet all the living beings around you and feel your communion and your connection. Do this every day. Then watch your mind, watch your thoughts. Are you taking ideation on the great? Or are you thinking in the ego-centered mind of duality? When you catch yourself in the duality, remember the self, the true self, the infinite love that is you. All these things vitalize the mind, vitalize the body, vitalize the prana, the life force. Even to the last breath, a person's vital force and their light will be there. The body may even glow once the soul has been released due to this vital force embedded in love of the great. The greatest vitality comes from knowing the Supreme, from realizing that that one is all around you, within every cell of your body, within your mind, and appreciating the beauty and the wonder of your life, the magnificent expression of the infinite all around you and within your own body and your own mind. For you are the child of the great. You are the one who embodies that infinite consciousness in your mind, in the cells of your body, in the atoms, in the thoughts, in all that you are. The infinite one is dancing the dance of creation. And you are composed of that infinite one. Keep the prana high in the body. Open the heart and the mind. And all of this vitality is there. It heals the body. It heals the mind. It is love unconditional. It is peace beyond understanding. It is the true food which feeds you, makes you alive. When you begin to vibrate with the frequency of your divine nature, then the mind begins to vibrate and perceive the divinity. The vital force jumps for joy. The vital force of all life abounds in you, of consciousness itself. It brings joy. It brings healing. It is the love of the infinite. To be in touch with it is to know grace. Guru can be seen as far away, distant, no longer embodied. But the true Guru does not lie so far from you. The true Guru lives in the core of your heart, lives in every living being, because all are by nature composed of Paramaparusha, composed of pure consciousness. So there is no place, nowhere, that you can be apart from your beloved, from the true love of the great. Only take the veil of ignorance off of your eyes. Open your eyes. See the love which surrounds you. See the beauty as Lord sits on your lap in the form of a cat, or is with you in the form of a dog, or is next to you in the form of a tree. Lord is all around you. Open your eyes. Open your heart. That indwelling self of yourself abides in every molecule, every atom of existence. So this world can look dead and mundane. You can struggle with the lack of luster, and you feel a lack of luster in your life. Or you can tear the veil of illusion away and look at the self of yourself, at the Sadguru who is all around you in the consciousness that is the true nature of all that is. and is your true nature. So the Sadguru, the true Guru, lies within you as your own deepest self in the core of your heart. That one will always guide you if you look for him, for her, and hold on to that one. Don't let it slip away. The true Guru is there to guide you always. Listen with your inner ears. Drop into your heart. See the love all around you. Feel the vitality and the prana. Then your frequency changes. And the love that is divine becomes yours. It has always been yours. But the blindness in the eyes, you cannot see. Take away this illusion. Feel the vitality. Feel the love. Be the love. Hold to the Sadguru as that indwelling self of yourself, the Lord of your life, the one who is always with you. Guru cannot die. Forms change. That is the nature of this manifest world. Forms change. But the self, the true Guru, always is all around you, and even in the cells of your body, even in the beating of your heart, even in your mind. That one is the true self of yourself. Awaken. To love. Let the vitality, the prana fill you, the love of the infinite, the shower of grace, always there, like a gently falling rain. Open up to it. Hold to it. It's precious and it's yours. All right.
Question.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if food seems very nice, but it's been frozen and then it thaws out, even though it looks good, should we feel that the prana has left?
You have to feel with your own subtle mind whether each thing is what it is. To be frozen is not necessarily to deplete the prana, but it can. How long has it sat? How was it done? Just feel. You are capable to feel and to know.
Thank you.
Your body will tell you if you listen. Body knows a lot. All right?
Aha. I think there's another question here.
Yes, yes.
Namaskar. I I would like to know whether the prana in the food is depleted through microwave cooking.
Very good question. How the food is heated can make a difference. Microwave will influence the molecular structure of food more than heating on the stove. This is actually a very complex question because it entails many different wavelengths and how they impact the psyche and the prana, whether they influence. The more the cellular structure is broken down, the more the pranic body may be dismantled. But you will have to use your own intuitive feeling to assess to what degree there is damage to cooking in electricity, to cooking in gas, to cooking in microwave, to cooking in a toaster oven. What is the, or to eating raw? Raw may seem, it is so pranic. But if you have difficulty in your digestion and you are high in vata, that prana will not come from the food because you cannot digest it. So it is no longer viable. So it is complex. But you have the great instrument within you to know. You have that alignment with the self of yourself, with the true guru. Go into that alignment. Use your intuitive capacity to feel the food. Feel what your body is telling you, and you will know what is right. So rather than to say, do this, do that, I would say to you, listen to your body, listen to your deeper nature, and the answers will be there. All right?
Yes.
All right.
So it isn't fair to say that a microwave will kill the food. It depends on the person's body a lot, to some extent.
Yes. That is a blanket statement.
Exactly.
Blanket statements tend to not be entirely true. Everything is variable. But there is a difference between the cooking on the stove, the cooking in the microwave. You bring the foods together, you see which you feel the more prana in. See what you feel. What you feel. Listen, feel in your body, feel from the deep self where you are drawn, where you are not drawn. The answers will be there. You already have the capacity to know. All right?
Yes. Thank you.
Is there more?
Thank you.
I would add one small item. Gluttony. Gluttony does not help with prana because you must digest the food. The most pranic food, if you cannot digest it, it will not help you. So keep very good care of your digestive system and eat the foods which are kind to your digestive system. All right?
Thank you.
Namaskar.